What's up, guys? Today is a training session, and specifically we're going to be talking about footwork, how to utilize footwork while punching, because if you can move your feet, that's fantastic. If you can punch, that's fantastic, but neither is enough to become a world champion and collect the kind of belts I have behind me. You have to be able to combine the two together. You have to be able to throw single shots and be able to move back, single shots, moving forward. You have to be able to back up quickly, back up going forward. When you can string all of that together, you become a much more effective, dangerous fighter. So today we're going to start off basic and we're going to work on individual steps, just one step with one punch, and then we will build up to moving back and forward across the room, punching non-stop, maintaining a proper stance the entire time. So guys, I'm gonna roll the intro while it's going. Get yourself your gloves, get yourself some water, and get ready to work hard. Alright guys, we are starting off with a warm-up. I don't want anybody pulling any muscles, getting injured. So now that your gloves are on, hopefully, let's start rolling the arms backwards. We're going to take about 2-3 minutes. That's it. Roll them forwards. You should always stretch pre and post workout. That's what I do. I know a lot of people say you don't need to at the beginning. It's more important at the end. Arms in and out, please. But I always say you have to do it at the beginning. I feel so much better and I get so much less injured when I take the time to do a little bit of a warm-up. So roll the shoulders backwards. Since we're just focusing on and forwards, on punching and some footwork, we're just going to do the upper body, stretch that out quickly, and then we're going to roll through just the calves a little bit. Get those warmed up as well. Let's go hips. If I know I'm throwing lots of kicks, I put extra time opposite direction on the hips. I put extra time into stretching my legs out, but we don't have to do that today. All right, get those calves, just one foot behind the other, just stretch out. I like doing a little pulse up and down. Just kind of recreates the energy of bouncing when you're moving around. And switch. We don't want static stretching for too long when we're getting ready to do something very athletic. Keep bouncing away. Good. Let's just cross one leg over the other. Just a quick toe tap. Relax. 5 times. Up and down. 3, 4, 5. Switch legs. Other one in front. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good, hand up. And from here, guys, let's take a stance. The weak leg goes in front, check for the shoulder width. I like to make sure, especially when I'm doing movement, that I don't have my feet completely flat on the ground. This is going to make you less dynamic. It's going to be less easy to move forward and backward. So I disconnect the heel on the back foot. Very important. So you guys set yourself up for that. And then from there, just light straight punches, just a little warm up. Hands back to your cheeks. A little bit of hip rotation, and I'm twisting through the ball of the foot on that back leg now that the heel is disconnected. Just keep those straight punches going, and we're going to change it to hooks and go. It's nice and light. We'll do a burn down at the end, but right now it's just a little warm up. Uppercuts. Still, you guys can tell I'm pulling one hand always back to my cheek. I never punch like this. I always have one hand up protecting myself. And let's do one set of high punches just up towards the ceiling. Just warming those shoulders up a little bit more. Picking that heart rate up. All right, that's all we need. Nothing too crazy right now. So let's start off and talk about single shots. When we are punching one time and we know we're going to be moving forward or backward and we're just using one punch to either attack or defend ourselves. What we want to make sure we're doing on this is figuring out which direction my foot needs to move. If I step straight in every time, just straight in with my foot and my head stays high, I'm very easy to counter. If I'm easy to counter, when I walk in to punch, I get hit. I stop utilizing my footwork because I get scared. So we will start today with the most basic single shot you can do. It's when your front foot steps forward. I move forward with my front foot. My back foot follows. I'm going to throw a punch at the same time, and my head needs to move off the center line. I move in, I move my head off the center line, I jab, and then I exit. Now, we're going to do 10 of these together in one moment. I want to point out one more thing for you very quickly. What a lot of people struggle on is figuring out when to throw the punch. If I try and throw the punch right now, like my foot's up in the air and I'm punching before I even move forward, that's no good. But I also don't want to move forward, plant my feet, pause, and then end up punching. What's better off is me stepping, and as soon as my front foot hits the ground, I'm into the jab, and then my back foot can catch up quickly. All right, that's the timing that I want right now. And as we do the push forward and we throw our punch, our head is not straight up, it drops slightly forward and slightly to the side on a 45-degree angle. So every time I count, I just want a simple move forward, head drops, hand to the head, move backwards when you're done. All right, ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now that's a very easy jab that's easy to follow up on our combo. If I move forward, I throw my jab, I'm now in that ideal shoulder width stance where I can continue to throw from a very, very strong position. On our next jab, I want us to just take our front foot and then step back. That's it. This one's more, I hit and then I exit very quickly. I could follow with a second shot, but if I stay here and keep throwing and throwing, I'm just going to be very stuck to the ground. I'm not going to be able to move easy. So I prefer for you guys to think of this one as just I'm here, I see an opening, I touch and I exit. That's it. Head still off the center line, back foot stays planted, lunge forward with the left leg, throw a long jab. 10 counts, ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, hopefully you guys are having no trouble keeping up. Now I want to move to the backhand, still moving forward. Then in a moment we'll practice moving backwards. On the cross we have two options. They're both very similar to what we just did. Option number 1 is both feet move forward. I throw my cross. Option number 2 is one foot steps out on a 45-degree angle. So this is very important. I don't want to come straight for this shot. I want to take this left leg and step out that direction. As I step out that direction, you'll notice my head moves off that center line, and then from there, I can throw my cross. So we're going to do 5 where we push forward, we drop our head to the side, and then 5 where we step out to the side and we cross. All right, ready? Starting with 2 feet pushing forward, hit the cross, and exit out. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now just the left leg stepping out. This one is like our last jab. It's very easy to step and then exit quickly. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we covered the single shots aggressively. Now we need to work defensively. So let's break down the footwork in this instance. So the first one that I like to imagine is somebody's walking right towards me. I want to stay in my strong stance. In case my first movement isn't enough, then maybe I need to step sideways. So the motion will look like this. I'm going to push backwards with the jab. My back foot will step as I jab, and then my front foot will catch up. But when I put it all together, people mistake it for kind of a jump and then throwing my punch. But the timing is 1, right foot step back, jab went out, and then 2. I like that timing. 1, 2. All right, let's do 10 of those. Backing up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now that's a very easy way. As I said before, you see somebody coming towards you, you step backwards. If they're too aggressive, they run into your jab. If they decide to bail on it, then you've effectively canceled their offense. This is a great jab to get really good at. The other one that I really like to utilize is when our back leg steps backwards. That's it. When I get here, I'm going to plant and I'm going to bang in a hard cross. So I see them coming, bump. Now from here, I have to decide, do I want to exit? Or if I hit them hard enough, if I was here and I went, oh, I hurt them, then maybe I'll start on my own attack. But for today, we're just going to step back with our right foot or our back foot. We're going to throw our cross, boom, both hit at the exact same time. It's not hit the ground and then punch, or punch, hit the ground. Try and make the two of them line up in timing and then just reset. One and then step up. One and then step up. All right, let's do 10 of these counts. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I like this one because you guys can see where my head is right now. As I step backwards, my head moves away. So assuming the guy planned to hit me here and aim through a little bit, my little step back is going to create a nice amount of distance between the punch and myself. Then from there, it's about me making sure that I have a nice long cross. If I go short, it's not going to work. But if I go really long and slightly over top, kind of come around, I can most likely come over top his jab and land, especially if I have long arms. If I'm taller or longer arm than my opponent, this is perfect. You should drill it over and over. All right, guys, now I want to move into multiple shots because we've only done the singles. And basically on anything we've done so far, you could just add another punch and make it a combo. So before we were going move in, jab, exit, jab. Well, if you wanted to work on your footwork and throw a combo, you just move in, jab, you plant, you throw your combo, and then you exit. But I don't want to really harp on that because it's pretty much the same as what we've already been doing. What I want to work on is the ability to back up while punching or move forward while punching, because that is so much harder than moving once and planting and punching. So let's start off right now and work on the simple timing of left leg, my front one moves, and my back foot follows. And I just kind of step, but you see my shoulders? My shoulders are rotating as I move forward. I'm not like this. My shoulders are very square. It's going to become very limited in the amount of power I can get in my punches. So as I step, my shoulders just move side to side. That's all I want us to start with. Just a nice little wobble forward. It's almost like as you step with your left foot, your right shoulder goes in front. As you step forward with your right foot now, the left shoulder comes back to its normal stance. So I'm extending my stance, returning to normal. Extending my stance, returning to normal. And then most likely I'll do the same thing as I back up. I'm just alternating from side to side. So let's try this very slowly. Don't rush it. Just take your time. It's left, right, left, right, left, right. And then with the shoulders just engaging a little bit. Kind of like if you were throwing punches. It's the same idea, but we're not doing the punches yet. All right, let's go forward. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm jammed for space. You guys might be jammed for space too. Take tiny little steps. It doesn't matter. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now from here what we need to be able to do is as our shoulders were turning, we want to turn that into punches, and it should match nicely. Left leg goes forward, right arm comes in forward. Now the right leg picks back up and I jab. Cross, jab, cross, jab. Just nice and light, going forward and back, forward and back. My stance should never be getting out of position. I'm just taking little steps as I throw my punches. You guys just try this nice and light. Forward and back, forward and back. Legs can be pretty much shoulder width in width, and then in length, we're about the same. Don't go too long. Little steps, little punches, elbows stay tight, hands come back to your cheeks. If you get confused, just go back to walking and turning your shoulders. We're going to take about a minute more. Practice this. Anybody who's advanced, who's finding this very easy, What you should start doing now is not just going straight punches, start mixing up. Maybe I go uppercuts, maybe I go hooks, or maybe if I'm advanced enough, I mix up between all three. I'm just taking the little steps and I'm going upper, upper, hook, straight, straight, just mixing it up. Whatever level you feel you're capable of. And we're going really light right now, so obviously it's not realistic, but just keep working away. All right, let's pause it there. So that's the general foot pattern that people have trouble with when they try to move backwards or forwards and throw punches. We don't want to stay stationary because when we're stationary, we're very, very easy to hit. And if we just always back up without throwing anything, we become very easy at the same time to become almost like a moving punching bag. And by the same token, if we can only move forward and throw attacks stationary, we miss out on that whole opportunity of hitting somebody and then chasing them down and hurting them as they're backing up. So we're just taking that nice little shoulder wobble and basically just lifting our feet and alternating legs. That's all we're doing. So now what I want us to do is work on a quick combo. I want us to go cross, hook, cross, because it works very nicely into the footwork that we already practiced. We practiced before taking our front leg and stepping off to the side. And then from there, once I've stepped my lead leg out, my back foot comes up on the hook. And then once again, I step forward on the cross with my left foot. So it's on footwork. For the footwork, it's front, back, front. And then you switch it on the hands. It's back, front, back. So opposites, opposites, opposites. And then I can just back out. Every time I count, I want you guys to go 1, 2, 3, and then just back out. Ready? And 1, and then 2, 3, 4. If you want to go faster, you can. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's talk quickly about how much distance you should be covering during 3 punches. So I want you guys to imagine that you hit somebody. You basically have to keep up with them. No matter how fast they're backing up, you have to keep up. Unless they just decide to basically sprint backwards, then you'll probably just let them sprint away. Let them catch up to you. And if they sprint really far away, it looks like they start running. Almost. And then from there, you're looking good, you're looking strong, they're scared of your punches. But generally, I want to say that if somebody comes towards me and they throw punches at me and I decide to back out, I'm probably moving about that far. So if I'm able to cover, what is that? It's about 1 foot, 12 inches. So if on my 3 punches, I'm able to go step forward, maybe 4 inches, another 4 inches, and another 4 inches, most likely I'm on top of them. I feel like a lot of times when people try to cover distance, they imagine these massive distances that they have to rush and get to very quick. And they're kind of like, ah, and it throws off everything. And they end up most of the time jamming themselves anyway, unless the guy runs back just as quickly as you're going forward. So think, yeah, I can move forward as quick as I want, but I only need to cover about that far every step. And then that far, and then that far. That'll constantly keep you within range. And if you decide to throw 5 or 6 punches and you're moving forward, if they're moving back faster than that, again, you don't need to worry about chasing them. Let them come to you eventually. They'll walk into your punches, and then you can worry about going on the attack. So next I want to talk about our backwards motion. What are we doing for backwards? If we're just always going single shot, eventually the guy might go, okay, if I decide to come at him with 5 or 6 punches, I just have to get by the first one, that's it. So we want to have the ability, if necessary, to throw multiple shots. Especially when people throw, a lot of times they make mistakes and they leave themselves open. So sometimes the backwards motion is a great time to find a counter and get the knockdown. So before we were going push back, that was it. This time I want us to go push back 1, push back 2. 2 separate motions, 1, 2. And we're just going to try and sort of put those together. The footwork, when you break it down, is very, very adjustable, really. When I'm doing the separate motions, it's very precise. 2 feet move, 2 feet move. That's what I'd be working on. But when I'm doing this quickly and I'm throwing very fast, it might be more like 2 punches on 1 quick bounce backwards. Or maybe I'm going to throw something like 4 punches in a couple steps like we practiced before, where we're going step, 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 step. And then when I put that together, I managed to create a lot of distance. So all I want us to work at the moment, multiple shots, is we're good. Let's go back foot moves first. Back foot always has to move first if we're moving backwards, because if my front foot moves first, I end up with my legs parallel. So the back foot will move, the front foot will move, the back foot will move, the front foot will move, and during that 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, I want us to let our hands go. If you want, you could just go 3 punches. It could be all jabs. 1, 2, 3. Or you could go 4 straight punches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you could mix it up if you're advanced and just be switching heights, levels, and angles where I'm throwing whatever I want. But either way, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, shoulder width. If I turn sideways, my shoulders are still at this same width. Doesn't matter which way I turn, I'm always maintaining that. And I'm making sure as I step backwards, I'm not trying to cover massive distance. I'm just going 4 inches at a time. It's just 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches. That's all I need. That's enough. All right, let's do 10 counts. Hands are up, and 4 punches, 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now, as I'm demonstrating, I'm being a little bit more flexible with the rules. You guys will note I'm not every time going 1, 2, 3, 4, and at the same time punching. Sometimes for me it was more like 1, 2, 3, I plant, and then my 4th shot comes when I'm stationary, when I'm strong. You need to really feel out what works best for you. But as long as you're practicing these drills, moving forwards, moving backwards with punches, it will become easier and easier. But as long as you're practicing these drills over and over, not just doing them once and going, okay, I should have it by now, keep working on it, keep practicing moving forward and backwards with the punches, it will become much easier for you to do. So guys, we have covered these single shots with footwork. We've covered multiple shots with footwork. Now what I want us to do is try and punch with footwork when our arms are a little bit tired. So we're going to do a little shoulder burn down, and we're going to see if you guys can remember how to incorporate footwork while your arms or your shoulders are a little burnt down and you're thinking about, oh my gosh, my arms are heavy, I'm fatigued, and you have to remember to move backwards correctly while backing up and punching, or while moving forward and punching. And remember guys, you can always come back and do this whole workout, this whole video, this whole follow along tutorial. Again, it might not just be a one and done kind of thing. It might take you 3 or 4 times to really start to understand all the details, all the points I'm saying, and incorporate them into your striking. So guys, we're going to take a quick sip of water, a little rest. We'll get right into it, but for the moment, just breathe and recover. All right, guys, the burn down with the footwork is going to be a test for you. Go as quick or as slow as you need to. It's not a race, and remember, if you come back and do this a second time, hopefully you'll feel more confident and you can pick up the pace. So just do the best you can, follow along with me, and let's start, guys. Hopefully our gloves are on, so we're going to get that shoulder burnout. I want us to start with the arms up like so. Hands hanging out to the side. You can see I've got a bend there. Let's hold that position and let's just rotate one up, one down, and we're just going to rotate back and forth on the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop the arm so both are at the same height now. This one will be super easy at the beginning, but when we come back to this in a little bit and your shoulders are burning, you're going to go, holy smokes, this is really hard. Make sure your elbows are high and you're pinching your shoulder blades together. That's going to make it so much more difficult. From there, extend your arms out to the side, roll the little circles forwards. We're going to get about another 30 seconds of shoulder work in, then we're going to start incorporating our movement forward and backwards. And let's switch the direction of the arms. So the first part is going to be single shots, fast work. I'm going to call forward or backward, and I want you to throw any punch you want, but make sure you move your feet the correct direction. There's no rule about both feet having to move or one foot having to move. You choose. You hear forward, you jump forward, you throw a punch. You hear backwards, you move backwards, you throw a punch. Arms up to ear level, hold it for 5 more seconds. We're going to jump to our fighting stance. Make sure you're in a position where you have the ability to back up or go forwards, not banging anything in your room. All right, and hands up, light little movement if you can. If not, just stay stationary and forward. Remember, either hand, backward, forward, 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 backward, backward, forward, forward, backward, backward. And hands back out, shoulder level. Ooh, my mouth is getting dry. I didn't take a water break when I should have. Hopefully you guys did. We still got a few minutes left here. Don't slow down, don't quit. Arms in front, crisscross. The whole drill, the whole point of all this kind of arm stuff is to burn down and learn not to drop when the arms get fatigued. Up and down. And hopefully you start to feel your shoulders burn out enough that it kind of makes it hard for you to hold them up as we're doing our drilling and our next motion. In the next one, when I call forward, it's 2 punches. Backward is 2 punches. You can decide if you want to take 2 steps or 1, but it's 2 punches, forward or backward. Back to crisscross. 10 seconds here, 10 more seconds up and down with the arms. Then we'll get into our second set. And up and down. Guys, we're almost coming to the end of the half-hour training session. Keep pushing along. And hands up. 2 punches. Forward or backward. And back. Forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. Backward. Forward. Backward. And back up with the arms. Slight bend in them. Remember, shoulder blades are pinched, elbows are high. Every time I count, up and down. Make sure the shoulders stay at one height. Don't let the elbows lower as you go like that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out to the side, little flutter up and down. Nothing really spastic, just a nice controlled motion. On our next one, I want 2 steps forward. Not just one little step like we did the last couple times. 2 steps forward. You can get as many punches as you want, but you have to go step, step. Step, step. Forward or backward. Try to cover at least 8 inches. Each step is going to be 4 inches. You're going to cover 8 with 2. And, oh, that shoulder's burning. Ready? Hands up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's change it to 3 punches now. 3 punches going forward or backward. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and back up. Let's go like a statue. We got 20 seconds here. 20 seconds extending the arms out to the side, and 20 seconds at head level. And then we're going to finish with our last set. Breathe. Fight through any shoulder fatigue and desire to drop your arms. Don't give in to it. Out to the side. 20 seconds. If you have on 16-ounce gloves, you are a boss. I'm working with 8-ounce. A little easier. 5 seconds. I'm going to take the arms up to ear level. Keep them straight. And up. And our last little bit here with footwork is going to be going, I'm going to call forward, and you're going to move forward as far as you can in about 2 seconds. Forward, 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 forward. We'll bounce it out, and then I'll say backward, 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 backward. Many punches as you can during that time period. Hands up, back up. You should have about 1 meter at least to move forward. That's the ideal distance. If you only have a couple feet, then you take lots of little steps. Shorten that 4 inches that we talked about to more like 2. All right, ready? Step in forwards, and you can probably get 4 to 6 punches in. And go. And then hold your ground, little bounce. And back. And forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. And time, guys. All right, that got my heart rate up, partially because I'm talking the whole time, but hopefully it was a good workout for you guys as well. If you guys are wanting to advance your footwork to a further stage, what you really want to do is get somebody to hold pads for you. They say something like jab, cross, hook. Normally they just do that, but they, if they're a good pad holder, should be going like this, or should be going like this. They should be able to pressure you so you can throw those punches and cover that distance without even thinking about it. It just should be involuntary. The pad holder puts his hands up, he says jab, cross, hook, and all of a sudden he's moving. And you just move and catch up to him because you know it's the right thing to do. So drill this whole video a couple times till you really get it down. Work with partners on back and forward motion where you're taking those little steps forward and you're covering that distance. Remember to keep those hands high, those elbows pinned in. Get your head off the center line on the first punch lots of times. And guys, thanks for joining me today. If you had fun, if the video was helpful, please give it a like. If you haven't already, guys, join the channel and get subscribed. Train hard, guys. I'll see you back here soon for another video.